Hey, good morning everyone. I'm Kaye here in Tennessee at Late Bloomer Garden 2.0 on a big property that I like to call my homestead, even though I don't have livestock. Today I am going to give you a very short reveal of my moringa and my artichoke, two plants that may or may not survive in Zone 7. I had a great success with moringa last year, and I'll put the link right up there. Moringa is one of the most nutritious plants you can grow, but it is a tropical plant. And it's to survive the winter, you know, well, it's difficult in Zone 7. And I was told that by David the Good. And if you don't know David's channel, check it out. He's in Zone 9. He does a great job with moringa, and he has a video on overwintering moringa. Well, I didn't do exactly what he suggested, because I was rushing as usual. But I did cover my moringa, and I also covered my artichoke, which survived the year before. And so we're gonna go down and we're gonna have a heat wave today. So let's get those things uncovered and see if there's any life under there. I have no idea, but I'll show you what I did. So stay tuned. Well, here we are down at the lower garden. I put in a 5,000 square foot garden, which is slightly less than the entire property I had in Pacific Palisades, where I started my channel, in a micro garden in the front yard. Another thing I have to do, because it's going to be mid-80s, is I'm going to put in a drip line, and because it's going to be mid-80s today, and I have so much already planted that needs protection, and I really need to be inside today. I have a guest here helping me try to organize my house for the first time since I've been here. If you're new to my channel, I came here about 5 years ago, and I have gardens where I grow a lot of my own food. I preserve my food, I make one-pot meals, and I make home remedies from medicinal plants found all over my yard. So I have a lot of videos on that. If that interests you, I hope you'll subscribe. Click the bell for notifications, scroll down and click all. Okay, let's get down there and reveal the plants, and then I'm going to set up the drip line. Okay, you can see that the cover crop, which is mostly vetch, clover, and not sure what kind of grass I planted, has just taken over and almost buried the artichoke. Uh-oh. I don't think I brought any clippers, which is a big no-no. You know, once you get down the hill, you certainly don't want to have to go up the hill for stuff. So, yeah, okay, that'll come right off. But I use zip ties on stakes to keep this frost blanket from blowing off. Certainly don't need the frost blanket in the mid-80s today. So I'm going to pull back all this lovely vetch. This is a nitrogen builder like all cover crops. And it's absolutely gorgeous, but you know, if you let this thing go, I think it would cover your house in about 2 years. Your house would disappear. Fortunately, it's easy to pull out. Pull back. You guys see these gorgeous flowers up close. See if you can see those. So pretty. If you are new here, I have a video where I grew this in my tiny front yard in Pacific Palisades. And of course it took over. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Look what I found. This is a loofah. I grew loofah for the first time since I've been here last year, and it was a great success. Meaning it did really well. And look at these peas. These are you know, peas that build nitrogen. They don't produce a crop for you. You go to all the trouble to to plant peas for a crop, and this stuff grows like weeds. Even though we had 7 inches of rain, this soil is dry. Let's do this. Rocks. Okay, so aha! Right off the bat, we see life. Look. These are dead artichoke leaves. Okay, obviously I packed it with hay as well. There's tons of roly-polies in here. Absolute. Oh my gosh, tons. So let's reveal them to the light. Maybe they won't like that. This piece is alive. It looks like this piece is dead. All right, let's move on. At least it survived, so to speak. Now this is the absolutely, absolutely crazy buried. There were 3 or 4 or 5, I don't remember, stalks under there. And what you do is, obviously this is still one here, but it may just be dead. About knee high, you cut it back about knee high. You're supposed to pack it, put a column of maybe wire or something, fill the whole thing with leaves, cover the top with plastic. That's his method, so no water doesn't get down on it. I did not do that, so we'll see. Let's pull all this stuff back. It's about 6:30 in the morning. People going that way are going to work, and people going that way are going out to the big farm at the end of the road. Okay, just kind of pull this back. Uh-oh, it's not supposed to be in there. What I did was I put hay all underneath the edges, so there was no way that cold could get in. You can see I wrapped the frost blanket underneath, and then inside that, I don't remember how I did it exactly. I can tear it and show you. Inside, see, I packed all the edges with hay so that it had a nice insulation from the ground. But we'll see. We'll see. If the big one didn't make it, then probably not too hopeful for the rest. I think I'm actually standing on it, am I? Oh, I think I pinned it down with something. Or this is the bark. This one looks, you know, it's so wobbly. Even though it's green down here, I'm thinking that's way too wobbly. This is not wobbly. So I'm going to call this a definite maybe, and I'm going to call this a likely fail. You know what? The ground looks really wet down here, and it did not rain last night. I might not need to set up the drip line after all. If you're a beginning tomato grower, tomatoes like deep, infrequent watering. You know, I hear people say, oh, I water my tomatoes every day. Well, that's too much. Look at that. It filled up with vetch inside. Okay. I actually had that around the post. Okay, that's pretty wobbly. And there's a lot of roly-polies. And worms. Got some nice worms in there. Very active. Okay, let's go down. This one is definite fail. Oh, because it's broken. Yeah. Yeah, that definitely did not make it. Okay, so that was 3. Okay. I guess I just had 4. Oh, that's right, a head up. Yeah, this one, looks like this one took a beating. But you see, I had them packed really well with hay. Yeah, that's done. It's rotted down there. So I don't think anything's going to come back from that. However, we might have a possibility on the end here. So you might say, if you're in a questionable zone, you know, why bother? Well, you know, to get a head start, that's always one reason. But do not despair if you're not in a zone that you can overwinter. Moringa grows really fast, and just order some good seeds and start all over each year. And you can also, one thing I did back in late bloomer garden is I took, and you can also do it with the longer pots. The thing about Moringa is it's a very large seed. It's like that big. You plant it 1 to 2 inches down. You don't plant it way down, and then it puts down a taproot. The taproot, I've seen the taproot this long. And then at the end, sort of like nut sedge, nut grass, you have a nut down there. That's a round beginning of your root structure, and it just spreads out from there. So what you don't want to do is plant it in a little pot like that and not give that taproot some distance to grow down. One thing I did, and of course you don't want to disrupt it either, so I had this brilliant idea. You can try it if you like, is you can have some of that, like a foot section of perforated drain pipe, and you can cut one side. You can fill up with dirt. I don't know if I have a video on this. It's been too long. It's been 13 years I've been doing this. I might have done this in a video, but I took a milk crate and I filled it up with sections of perforated drain pipe. And so the milk crate, you know, has openings on the side, but not on the, I don't think it had it on the straight bottom, you know, but anyway, the water has an opportunity to go out of the milk crate down, you know, when you water it. You fill them up with soil, and then you put the seed at the top, you know, 1 inch to 2 inches down, and it has room for that taproot to grow. And then when you take it out, you could also pre-cut it, you know, pre-cut it with those shears that cut, you know, hard plastic. Don't try this with your regular garden shears, trust me. And you can cut it straight up on both sides. You could put a little wire around it to hold it together while it's growing, and then it's an easy untwisting and taking that column of dirt out after you get your holes dug. Your 1-foot holes, after you get them dug, you could just slide it in there and, you know, just remove the plastic. You know, after you set it in there, you could just remove the plastic. I hope that's understandable. I did try that. That's a lot of work, but you know, it gives you an opportunity to have a plant that's started if you have a short growing season. Because if you have really hot summers, what was that? If you have really hot summers, the Moringa might be happy. So I hope that's helpful. I'm going to sign off because my helper is here tilling. I have a helper inside, so I got a lot going on, and I hope you do too. Get ready for the growing season, and I'll see you in the next video. God bless.